Good evening. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon the ministries and state governments to use PM Gati Shakti portal for planning of infrastructure projects. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur says G20 India presidency is a great responsibility to ensure bridging differences and forging consensus on global issues. First meeting of the Culture Working Group of G20 begins in Khajuraho. Campaigning reaches its peak for Nagaland and Meghalaya Assembly elections. Aishwari Pratap Singh Tomar claims gold in men's 50-meter rifle shooting at ISSF World Cup in Cairo. And in women's cricket, India to clash with Australia in ICC T20 World Cup semi-final at Cape Town in South Africa tomorrow. Prime Minister Narendra Modi chaired the meeting of the 41st edition of Pragati in New Delhi today. Pragati is the ICT-based multimodal platform for proactive governance and timely implementation involving the centre and state governments. The Prime Minister advised the ministries and state governments to use the PM Gati Shakti portal for planning infrastructure projects. He insisted on the expeditious resolution of land acquisition, utility shifting and other issues for the timely completion of projects. He emphasized on ensuring proper coordination between the central government and state governments. During the interaction, the Prime Minister also reviewed Mission Amrit Sarovar. He also undertook real-time view of Amrit Sarovar site through drones at Kishanganj in Bihar and Botad in Gujarat. The Prime Minister advised all ministries and state governments to complete Amrit Sarovar's work in mission mode before the onset of the monsoon. He emphasized on block-level monitoring for the timely completion of the target of 50,000 Amrit Sarovars under the scheme. 9 key infrastructure projects were reviewed in the meeting. Among the 9 projects, 3 projects are from the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways and 2 projects are from the Ministry of Railways. These 9 projects have a cumulative cost of over 41,500 crore rupees and relate to 13 states. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address tomorrow the first post-budget webinar on green growth. It is the first of a series of 12 post-budget webinars being organized by the government to seek ideas and suggestions for effective implementation of the initiatives announced in the Union Budget. The webinar will have 6 breakout sessions covering both energy and non-energy components of green growth. The Ministry of Power is the lead ministry for this webinar. Green growth is one of the 7 top priorities of the Union Budget 2023-24 for ushering in the country green industrial and economic transition, environmental friendly agriculture and sustainable energy. It will also generate large number of green jobs. The Union Budget has envisaged a number of projects and initiatives spread across various sectors and ministries. Union Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Youth Affairs and Sports, Anurag Singh Thakur inaugurated the G20 meeting on Finance and Central Bank Deputies FCBD of G20 nations today in Bengaluru. Delivering his inaugural speech, the Union Minister said that the G20 India presidency is a proud moment for the country as well as a great responsibility to ensure that the G20 continues to bridge differences and forge consensus on matters of global importance. Mr. Thakur said the finance track of G20 process is the core that provides an effective forum for global economic discourse and policy coordination. He noted that the main work streams in finance track are global economic outlook and risks, international financial architecture including development finance and global financial safety net, financial inclusion and other financial sector issues such as global health financing and international taxation. He pointed out that India G20 presidency and its priorities focusing on healing our earth, creating global harmony and giving hope for our future reflects the importance India places on collaborative efforts to address global challenges.
The global economy is facing the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic, food and energy insecurity, broad-based inflation, heightened debt, vulnerabilities, worsening climate change, and geopolitical tensions. The impact of all these crises can set back progress on the world's key development priorities. The G20 can make significant contributions to find pragmatic global solutions through thorough focused dialogue.
Mr. Thakur said the deputies' meeting is dedicated to the finalization of the communique that will be endorsed by the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors to be held on 24th and 25th of February in Bengaluru. More from our Bengaluru correspondent.
Union Minister Shri Anurag Singh Thakur highlighted the need to aspire the spirit of multilateralism during his inaugural address at the second G20 Finance and Central Bank Deputies meeting in Bengaluru. He pointed out that through constructive and productive discussions we can collectively achieve optimal outcomes. He said that the finance track of G20 process is the core that provides an effective forum for global economic discourse and policy coordination. He noted that the main work streams in finance track are global economic outlook and risks, international financial architecture including development finance and global financial safety net, financial inclusion and other financial sector issues such as global health financing and international taxation. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Under India's G20 presidency, the first meeting of the Culture Working Group began today at Khajuraho in Madhya Pradesh. The meeting was chaired by Union Minister for Culture and Tourism, G. Kishan Reddy. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Union Minister for Social Justice and Empowerment Dr. Virendra Kumar also participated in the event. Various topics including cultural exchange will be discussed in the meeting of the Culture Working Group to be held till the 25th of February. Earlier, the exhibition named Readdress Return of Treasures and the renovated Museum of Art and Culture were inaugurated. The representatives of the G20 countries were welcomed according to Indian tradition. The delegates also enjoyed the folk dances of the state. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, in collaboration with the Sri Ram College of Commerce, today conducted a brainstorming workshop under the G20 presidency at its campus in New Delhi. The workshop was held under the theme of Shared Future, Youth in Democracy and Governance, to highlight the power of youth in the areas of democracy and governance. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs today approved the mandatory packaging norms for the jute year 2022-23. According to the norms, 100% reservation of the food grains and 20% reservation of sugar will be compulsorily packed in jute bags. In other decisions today, the Union Cabinet approved the signing of the Air Services Agreement between India and Guyana. The agreement will come into force after the exchange of diplomatic notes between the parties, confirming that each party has completed the necessary internal procedure for entry into force of this agreement. Indians have a sizable presence in Guyana and are the largest ethnic group, comprising about 40% of the population. The signing of Air Services Agreement with Guyana will enable a framework for provision of air services between the two countries. The Union Cabinet has also approved the extension of the term of the 22nd Law Commission of India up to 31st August 2024. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Northeast Diary program, broadcast every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. brings very interesting and enchanting stories from the 8 Indian states of Northeast India. Northeast Diary this week, on the 23rd of February 2023, brings an exclusive interview with Padma Shri awardee Bikram Bahadur Jamatia, a veteran social activist from Tripura. Looking forward to seeing you there.
Welcome back to News at 9. Campaigning has reached its peak with political parties and leaders making all-out efforts to woo voters for Nagaland and Meghalaya assembly polls. Polling will be held on the 27th of this month. In Nagaland, star campaigners of the two alliance partners, Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, and National Democratic Progressive Party, NDPP, Congress, and several other candidates of different parties are holding public meetings and rallies in different assembly constituencies. NDPP leader and Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio, who is also the star campaigner for the party, campaigned at different locations today for party candidates. BJP leader and Deputy Chief Minister Yanthungo Patton and BJP national spokesperson Nalin Kohli also campaigned today for its candidates under the Okha district. Addressing a meeting in Kohima, senior Congress leader Shashi Tharoor accused the incumbent government of failing to fulfill the basic necessities of the people of the state. Chief Electoral Officer Nagaland V. Shashank Shekhar, along with state election officials, cast their vote through postal ballot for 9 Kohima Town Assembly constituency today. In Meghalaya also, top leaders of all major parties are arriving in the state to campaign for their candidates. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address an election rally at Tura in the West Garo Hills district on Friday. Meanwhile, addressing an election rally at Mulki Point Ground in Shillong, senior Congress leader Rahul Gandhi said that his party is committed to fighting unemployment and rising prices in the state. BJP President JP Nadda today asserted that India under Prime Minister Narendra Modi does not shy from taking positions now, unlike in the past, and the Russia-Ukraine conflict is a classic example of this. He said the country can take a stand on complex issues on international matters, adding that Mr. Modi has changed the way India is looked at globally. Mr. Nadda stated this while releasing the book, Modi Shaping a Global Order in Flux in New Delhi today. He said India has taken a stand which may not be acceptable to all countries, but it is being appreciated by all that it has taken a stand and stayed with it.
India has played a very important role. New dimensions of new partnerships has been established and diverse across the world. The way of looking towards India has also changed. And this book gives us a very deep insight. I also like to share with you that Prime Minister Modi strengthened the ties with the nations which we call as the traditional allies. But at the same time, he also developed new alliances. He also saw to it that India always be the first to help the nations who are in need, and so the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam was being implemented in letter and spirit.
The book has been edited by Sudan Chinoy, Vijay Chothaiwale and Uttam Kumar Sinha. The External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has written the foreword of the book. Aam Aadmi Party's Shelley Oberoi has won the Delhi mayor elections. She defeated Rekha Gupta, the nominated candidate of the BJP. Shelley Oberoi received 150 votes, while Rekha Gupta got 116 votes. Shelley Oberoi has become the city's first woman mayor in 10 years. Moving on to sports, in shooting, India's Aishwarya Pratap Singh Tomar today claimed the gold medal in men's individual 50-meter rifle 3 positions competition at the ISSF World Cup in Cairo. The 22-year-old Tomar, who had also clinched a gold in the Chagwan World Cup last year, won 16-6 in the gold medal contest to comfortably beat Austria's Alexander Schmirl. Earlier, India's Tilottama Sen had won a bronze medal in the women's 10-meter air rifle. India is placed comfortably on top of the medals tally with 4 gold. Hungary is in second position with 2 gold medals. In women's cricket, India will face Australia in the ICC T20 World Cup semi-finals at Newlands, Cape Town in South Africa tomorrow. The match will begin at 6:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. India entered the semi-finals defeating Ireland by 5 runs through the Duckworth-Lewis method in the rain-marred last group match at St. George's Park, Gqeberha on Monday. With 4 victories from their first 4 games, Australia leads Group A. India finished second in Group B with 6 points from 4 games. In the second semi-final on Friday, England will clash with South Africa. The winners of the semi-finals will meet in the summit clash on Sunday. Indian all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja has stormed into the top 10 of the ICC Test bowler rankings after his brilliant performance in the first 2 tests against Australia. The left-arm bowler is the leading wicket-taker in the Border Gavaskar series with 17 wickets from 2 tests and has galloped to the 9th spot in the bowler rankings. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon the ministries and state governments to use PM Gati Shakti portal for planning of infrastructure projects. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur says G20 India presidency is a great responsibility to ensure bridging differences and forging consensus on global issues. First meeting of the Culture Working Group of G20 begins in Khajuraho. Campaigning reaches its peak for Nagaland and Meghalaya Assembly elections. Aishwari Pratap Singh Tomar claims gold in men's 50-meter rifle shooting at ISSF World Cup in Cairo. And in women's cricket, India to clash with Australia in ICC T20 World Cup semi-final in South Africa tomorrow. And with that, we end the news at 9. Good night.